Hello everybody. I wanted to do a new type of video since my 18650s are charging and I'm making my new Powerwall project. Well, it's not new. I've been doing it for a little while now, but I wanted to do a new video while my battery cells are charging because it's going to take some time. If you can see in the background, I'm not quite there yet, but I will be soon. Don't worry about that. I'll be getting you some more Powerwall videos coming up very soon, but I wanted to actually make a project on the cheap, a DIY project on the cheap, using basically 18650s, any type of 18650s really. Doesn't matter if they're low capacity or high capacity cells. High capacity is better because you get longer run times and all, but if you don't have the money, you can get used battery 18650 batteries out of laptops you can out of recycle ones that are half dead, because there are always one or two cells that are pretty much dead and the rest of them are still good. They normally have about 50% of life or more. So if you want to go cheap on that way, you can go to your local recycler and basically say, hey, I need some laptop batteries, or your computer repair store, whatever you can find. But don't get your hopes up if you go to Best Buy, because they will not help you out there. I already been through all that. And most recyclers do not, basically, they will not help you out either. So it's very hard to get help from a lot of places. You know, if you're an individual, if you're a company or corporation or something like that, then maybe they might help you. Maybe, just maybe. I know I'm not a corporation. I'm not a big business. I'm just a normal DIY guy that likes to build things. So anyway, back to this video. As I'm doing it, I wanted to build a small portable battery system, so that way I can take it on the road for me and have 12 volt and 5 volt. And if I want, I can either add an inverter if I want. Because I don't have room, so I'm going to have to leave it on the external outside. But right now, I just wanted to do this video. This is a 3-part video explaining, how to make this. And you can make this on your own with whatever you got laying around as for 18650 batteries, or if you have a emergency light battery or a UPS battery, you can use any one in the room basically. As long as it's 12 volts up to 16 volt, no more than 16 volt. Because if you go any more, well, your inverter's not going to like that too much. Most inverters can take up to 16 volt. And it's from 12 to 16 volt. And it'll work all the way down to about 10 volts, really. So it depends on your batteries, your cells. It depends on what you're going to be using. So, long story short is, I got an ammo box here from Harbor Freight. And basically, this ammo box was $4.99. I want to keep this build project under $50. So let's see what we can do, okay? So this is about $5. And it's from Harbor Freight. You can pick one up at any Harbor Freight. Also, 18650 holders. You're going to need some of these. I'm going with a I'm going with a, I believe, 4S 9P configuration, because that's what's going to fit in this ammo box here. And I'm going to bring that out right now so I can show you. This is the battery pack I'm going to be using. I'm not going to be using these cells. These are just a demonstration to show you. This is my pack size that I'm going to be setting up right now on this. So this is basically a 4S 9P configuration. This will give me 16 volts, and I can go as low as, I believe, 12 volt or so without damaging anything. Well, let's see, 3 volts, 3 apiece. Yep, 12 volt. I can go down to 12 volt without hurting the cells. I'm not going to be using these. I'm going to use a much better cell I'm going to bring here very soon, in about a week. So I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be using for testing. And then when I get my better cells in, my 2600 milliamp hours, then I'll be putting that in this box. So this is basically my cell pack that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to move the camera a little closer so that you can get a better look at everything coming up. So this is definitely the size of the pack I'm going to go with. Now next, I want to show you what I'm going to be using as a charge controller. I have a cheap PWM $10 charge controller from eBay. And basically this charge controller here, I can use, I can use the USBs, but the problem with this is once it's sitting in, it'll be very hard to get to. You might be able to get to it, but I'm going to not use these at all. I'll show you why in just a minute. So this charge controller will let me charge up the pack without no problem and put it on a solar panel of 18 volts. So without the load, it's 18 volts. With the load, it goes down to 12 volts. So this will let me charge that up. This is 10 amp charge controller, a 12 volt, 10 amps. So that's more than enough to put on a single, say, 50 watt solar panel or a 25 watt or even up to 75 watts. I'm not sure about 100 watts because I don't have a pure 100 watt panel just yet. But anywhere up to 75 watt panel will work on this thing. I heard 100 watts can do it too, but I haven't tested it out. I did test up to 75 watts and it did work. So anyway, this is the charge controller we're going to use. This is a $10 one. So altogether, right now we got $5, $10. That's $15. And the batteries itself, I got about, if I'm using my good ones, which I am, they're about 50 cents a piece. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. $18. So altogether we got $18, $10, that's $28. And then we got the case. So it's $28. $33 right here. We got right here so far total. So altogether, with the batteries, the charge controller, and the box, we have $33 total right now. So I can go cheaper and probably, make a smaller pack or, or find some other than 18650s. But this is what I have at the moment. And the next thing I wanted to show you is this guy here. And basically what this guy is going to do is it's going to let me have a 12 volt so I can plug it in an inverter. It's going to have a 5 volt 1 amp and 2.1 amp so I could charge a cell phone, an iPad, or whatever else I need. The bottom left here is a voltmeter, so it's going to tell me how much voltage is in my pack. This one here is an off and on power. The problem with this is it's got a little LED on there, and it's probably going to draw about at least 20 milliamps. Like 10 to 20 milliamps, depending on, I'm not sure. I have to check that. But I should be okay with this. And basically, these are the connector terminals on the back. I'm going to be soldering to these. I'm not going to be crimping to them or using end connectors. I'm going to be soldering, permanent solder connections. So this is what I'm going to be using on this project. I'll be taking this off this piece here, this holder here, and just using these 4 pieces here. So that's what I'm going to be using on that case. That itself was another $10. So we got $44 right now. And also we're going to need some XT60 connectors. And I'm definitely going to be using these because I can do up to 60 amps on these without no problem. So we're going to use this in there. And this pack right here was about $5 off of eBay. I had to look around and see what I could find for a best deal. So this was an awesome deal when I got these. They were $5 a pack. They come with 5 sets of male and female. So I ended up buying 4 of them, which was about $20. So that would give me 20 of these. So we'll use the XT60 connectors. That's another $5 right there. And we're also going to need something to go out to a solar panel, which I'm going to be using these right here. These are MC4 connectors, so they're going to be just sticking out on the side or on the top. I'm not sure yet how am I going to work these in just yet, because I wanted to use these for charging a panel. So these were $3. No, I'm sorry. These were $2.50 for the pair. So I got them right there we're going straight to the panel to charge. Anyway, this is under my $50 project right here. I know, and if you don't have $50 to spare and you want to go lower, we can eliminate the battery pack here, and I'll show you another way you can do it. You can eliminate this, so you really don't need that, and we can go with, say, we'll say something like this right here. This is basically a battery that came from a emergency light that was pulled out because they needed to update it to LEDs. So this was pulled out. I found these at local battery stores or Walmart. I think they were around $13, so they were about $5 cheaper than the other batteries. So that would put you about $5 under that. Instead of being about $48, you're down now to $43. So you could definitely do all that. And let's say if you want to go a little bit cheaper, okay? What you could do is, instead of this guy right here, they have one where you could do USB and this together, and I saw it at about $5. I'm sorry. Yeah, this was $11, and I found one with two in there, this one and this one in there, and that was around $5 to $6. So you can go $5 less on this than using this, and this find one that has these two on it, or even if you just want USB, you can do that too. Or if you want the 12 volt and the 5 volt, yeah, you can find them, definitely. You have to search online. I tend to search on eBay quite a lot. So that's another $5 less if you don't want this whole thing. You can do at $6 just for these two right here. So instead of $43, you got $38 right now. Okay, so if we want to go a little bit less than that, then you could probably do without these, without the whole pack, and just go a single pair. I seen a single pair at $1 a pair for the male and female, and 99 cents a pair with free shipping online on eBay. So that's another $4 off. So that will definitely bring you down about $4 more on top of that. You got $34 right now if you went that route. But that's all up to you and what you want to use and how much you want to spend. And if you can find, this battery laying around and it still has some charge in it, grab it if you can find it. In anywhere from the scrap place or, wherever you can find it. If you don't have to pay for it and you can find it. This box here, if you can find a small case somewhere, you don't even have to have a case, really. I have done plenty with using wood, making a case, or I actually use a box, like a shipping box. You could definitely do that using a shipping box. So really, depends on how cheap you want to go and depends on how much money you want to put into this project. But this is basically the parts I'm going to be using. I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to use an 8650s. But you definitely can go cheap. Really depends if you want to keep your budget down. Now, the problem is, one thing I found that if you want to do an inverter, if you want to get a cheap inverter, depending on how much wattage you want to put out the inverter, I don't recommend going that high. I say about 100 to 120 watts, then you can afford enough. If you can afford another $10, I would definitely go with this guy here. This powered up my laptop and everything. This also got USBs, so it's 120 watt, and this was $10 at Walmart. So you can definitely use this to power up things. And I took the end that plugs in the socket, and I put an XT60 connector on there, so that way that I can, you know, plug this in directly into a pack without no problem or whatever. So you could, but if you want to keep it separate from your setup, then you can just keep the cigarette lighter on there and then have it plug into the cigarette lighter piece. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to be mocking up where everything is going to go. It would definitely be a shorter video than this one. So I'm going to definitely lay everything out. And in the third video, I'm going to be wiring everything up and showing you how to solder the pack up, which is some of my other videos. You can see how it is, you know, soldered, how you make your bus bar for it, and, you know, how you get things soldered up. Also, I wanted to show you that this is also my work in progress. This is my 18650 charger holder. So I'm going to be charging my 18650s from this. I will be able to do 26 cells at a time. I got plans to add another 2 more, which is going to give me 44 cells. I'm sorry, 33 cells. It's my fault. 33 cells in total that I can charge at a time. So it's a work in progress. More updates on that later on. I think that's about it. Have a good one, everybody. Until next time, stay tuned.